This is a tale of 4 Avantis. This was recorded up in Amelia Island at the meet there, and there were quite a few Avantis here at this show. A real grouping of Avantis, which you don't normally see. These are 4 Avantis of a later manufacture than the originals. This one happens to be a 2006 model based on the current Mustang of the time, and you can see by the interior it's very familiar for those who own 2005 through 2010 Mustangs. Although I would say the upholstery and so forth is probably better quality. Finish is nicer with the instrument panel and so on. The car appears a little bit bigger, a little bit wider than the original Avanti. Now, of course, you wonder why did they go to a Mustang chassis? Because essentially they had to pass federal requirements for crash tests and so on. And that's what handicapped Avanti as they went forward after the initial build had expired. And now the next one here is a 2004 Avanti, and it's based on Firebird. And you can see by the rake of the windshield, this is a GM car, and looking inside, this is a Firebird. The owner tells me that was the chassis that was used. And again, a little bit bigger than the original, it seems to me. But this is what you had to do when you didn't have an original chassis of your own that would pass federal mandated crash tests. And that's what makes it a very expensive car to build, because essentially you have to buy the chassis from somebody else, or you have to buy completed cars and tear them apart, and it's a real mess to do. They also at one point used Monte Carlo chassis, and you'll see examples of that in a minute. So it's a nice car though, but again, it's a recreation of the basic idea of the Avanti. Now we're going to move on to something a little different. And that is a 4-door Avanti. And here it is. Someone might have wondered why they didn't do this originally, and I think that was the idea, but it never happened. But now it did. This one has a very nice interior. Instrument panel looks very upgraded with all that wood tone. I videoed one of these before, at least one, if not more. You don't see them very often, they didn't make many. And finally, we're going to get to the more typical Avanti that we're familiar with. And this one, I have a close-up of this placard at the end. It has a 305 Chevy engine. And this would be a 1988 model. I like this black exterior with the red upholstery. Very nice, very sporty. I like the steering wheel too, and all those gauges, very nicely done. And again, it's the size that you normally would think of an Avanti being. Really cool wire wheels too. So there you have it, another car name fades into the past. Zero chance of it being resurrected, I would say. There it is for us to